Hello students, today we are going to learn voice in a complex sentence. Voice in a complex sentence. Voice in a complex sentence. So, do you know what a complex sentence is? At first, you must clarify your concept before you begin the task of changing the voice. Okay? So, what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence. A complex sentence is a sentence that has at least two clauses. One, a principal clause, and the second one, a subordinate clause. So, a complex sentence is a sentence that has at least two clauses. One is the principal clause and other one is a subordinate clause. Now, take an example for the clarification of the concept. Example for the clarification of the concept. They say that the hunter killed the tiger. This is a complex sentence. A complex sentence consisting of two clauses. Number one, the principal clause. This is the principal clause, and the rest from here to the tiger, it is subordinate clause. So, number one, they say, principal clause. Principal clause. Number two, that the hunter killed the tiger. This is subordinate. This is subordinate clause. Here that is the connective. Okay. Now look at the clauses again. Here it is they say. This is the principal clause, but this is in active voice. The verb is in the active voice. Active voice. And this one, the hunter killed the tiger, is subordinate clause, and this verb is also in the active voice. Active voice. Clear? Now, we will change the voice separately one by one. Principal clause, principal clause. They say, it is active. They say it is active. Here one object is there, that is understood. This is the object. Now make it passive. So it is said by them. So now it is passive. Next, change the subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. That the hunter killed the tiger. It is active. Now change it into passive. The tiger is the object, the hunter is the subject. Keep that as it is, that the tiger was, it is past indefinite tense, for this was killed by the hunter. It is the passive voice. The work is almost done. Now combine these two parts. Combine these two parts. What is the combination? The first one is, it is said by them. It is said by them. It is not actually used. For your understanding, it is given here. It is said by them that the tiger was killed by the hunter. The work is done. Again, what is actually written is this. It is said that the tiger was killed by the hunter. Okay. So this is one example. Now you saw how these two parts are combined. Okay. How it is now? Difficult? Not at all. Follow the steps carefully 1 or 2 times and your learning will be complete. Next, take another example. Another example. Another example. Take another example. I know that he wrote a letter. This is a complex sentence consisting of 2 clauses. One is principal clause and the other one is a subordinate clause. The principal clause is what? I know. This is a principal clause. This is a principal clause. I know means here one object is there. That is understood. This is a principal clause. Now change it. This is principal clause and this is active also. Now we will change it into a passive, that is, it is the object, that means it will be it. Then present indefinite means it is known, by me, it is known by me, it is passive. Now see the subordinate clause, that he wrote a letter. Active will change, that is the connective, keep it as it is. This is the object and this is the subject, So a letter, it is past indefinite, so was written by him. This is passive. Now the work is almost done. Now combined form. What is the combined form? What is the first one? It is known. It is known. It is known. It is known by me. It is known by me that a letter was written by him. So it is known by me that a letter was written by him. But here one thing you must remember in this context, that here by me, this by is not generally used. Here this preposition is not generally used before me. Instead to is used. What is used? To is used. So write, it is known to me that a letter was written. A letter was written by him. So if you write it is known by me, it is also correct, but two bys in the sentence, here is one by, here is one by. Two bys, the use of two bys side by side in a single sentence is not a very good example, is not a very good construction. For this, to avoid this kind of confusion, avoid this kind of trouble, most people use to here in place of by. So it is known to me that a letter was written by him. Okay. Now take another example. Take another example, that is example number 3. Example number 3. It is another type of sentence. It is a complex sentence also, but it is a combination of active and passive voices. The sentence itself is a combination of active and passive voices like this. See, it is said that they know it. This is the sentence, complex sentence consisting of these two clauses. This one is principal clause and this one is the subordinate clause. Subordinate clause. Now write here, it is said, object is there, actually subject by people, it is understood. This is a principal clause, and it is in passive voice. Now change it, as it is in the passive voice, now change it into an active voice. Here in the object place, people. So people will be subject, people say, it is the object, though it is not used in the combined form. So this is the changed principal clause, active now, and the subordinate clause, that they know it. It is subordinate, but active. So it will be changed into passive. Keep that as it is the connective conjunction, no change is there. So this is the object, is, it is present indefinite tense. So is known, after that to, you know, is known to them, it is what? Now it is known to them. This is subordinate clause, but passive voice. Passive. Now combine them both. Combine, the combination is what? Combination. Now the combination is people say that it is known to them. That it is known to them is the changed form, and people say is the changed form, but it is principal and it is subordinate. That's it. Okay. So people say that it is known to them. Now take another example of another type. Another example of another type. Example. What cannot be cured must be endured. What cannot be cured must be endured. So this is a complex sentence consisting of two clauses. What cannot be cured, one clause, and must be endured, another clause. Must be endured. This is a principal clause. Must be endured. Must be endured means must be endured by us. It is understood. It is here but not written. Understood means. Okay, now change it. So it is must be endured. It is principal clause but passive voice. Passive. Now to change it into active. Subject will be we must endure. So this is principal but active. Now we'll go to the passive. We'll go to the subordinate clause. What is subordinate clause? What cannot be cured by us. This is understood. It is also subordinate clause but passive. Now we'll change it into active. So keep what as it is. Here it will be the subject. We cannot, be will be out, cure. This is subordinate clause but active. Now combine. Combined form. Combined form. What is the combined form? We must endure what we cannot cure. It is the combined form. What is the combined form? What we must endure, what we cannot cure. This is the combined form. But the general practice is to write the sentence in the following way. What is the way? We must endure. This part is active. And what cannot be cured. Keep this part as it was, unchanged. This is the subordinate clause. It is as it was, in the original form. We must endure what cannot be cured. Okay. So, this is a slight discussion on this topic. The topic is also very small, but interesting. So, listen, practice and enjoy it by using it in your own language. After this, now we will soon come back the remaining lessons on active and passive voices in English. Okay, thank you.